Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So a while back I asked for some art suggestions and a few of y'all came through with some really good suggestions, and one of them was from Blossom, where she asked if I could create a new race for the Zelda series. And I got really excited because y'all know Zelda is one of my top favorite video games of all time. I love them. Majora's Mask especially is my number one. So I got to thinking about what I wanted to draw. Instantly I knew I wanted to draw some kind of gator creature. I love gators and crocodiles. If you've been around for a hot minute on my channel, I've mentioned it a few times. I think what draws me to them is just my love for dinosaurs in general, and they're just like modern day dinosaurs. You know, they're living fossils to me. They're just so cool. I love the way they look, you know, and they got all these gnarly teeth and apex predators. Just, they're fantastic creatures, really, and they're massive. Well, they can be so small like the caiman, but they can be humongous like the saltwater gator, you know what I mean? Like, they're so cool. Well, crocodile, saltwater crocodile. My husband always gets upset with me because I get them like confused, and I'm just like, to me they're one and the same. One's just a little more gnarly looking in the face than the other. But whatever. So I go to do a little bit of research on the different races in the Zelda series. You know, there's lots of different types out there. You know, you got your humans, you know, Hylians, Gerudos, Minish, you know, teeny tiny humans. Would they even be counted as humans? In any case, so yeah, you got your humanoids, your witches, whatever. But then, you know, you've got your anthropomorphic creatures. You know, you've got your like Gorons, Zoras, the Rito, goodness, and there's so many different, the mole people, I forget what they're called, Morons from Twilight Princess. You even got like these weird races, like in some of them other games, like the Locomo dudes, where they're like half train. It's wild. It gets wild. And then of course there's races that aren't like human or animal at all, like the Koroks, you know, or the little penguin dudes. I can't remember what they're called, but they don't have gators, right? Now they have Tokai, which are like gecko-y lizard people from like the Oracle games, Oracle of Ages, I believe. But they're not gators, they're like lizards. Now there is a gator, there are two actually, Sail and Shoal in the Link's Awakening game, you know, and I absolutely adore them. They're just these bipedal actual gators that talk, you know, but they're not humanoid in any way, except for the fact that they're, you know, they could talk, you know. But so yeah, I got to thinking about like, well, how would I want to create a race that was themed around gators? And I mean, I was looking at pictures of the Lizalfos, and they're extremely, you know, lizard-like. You know, then there's Dodongos, which are more dinosaur-esque. And then I have a reference of a Tokai up on the side of the canvas, because I had some reference pictures up. You know, I pulled up some pictures of Zoras and just got to doodling. I went through a couple of different rough drafts before I started recording, and the first few rough drafts, they had actual gator heads, but it was too D&D for me, like a kobold. And, you know, it's been seen time and time again in other video games. And I thought, well, I want to make it more human. So I was definitely leaning toward the Zora reference for that. Taking inspiration from the fact that the Zoras have these long fins coming off their heads, I decided to make the back of this character like an actual gator, going all the way down to the tail, you know. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I suck at doing like perspectives and stuff and getting like anatomy perfectly correct. So yeah, it's gonna look a little wonky, okay? But I'm fine with it. I think it turned out good. And I wanted his forearms to be a little more beefy, you know. And I was thinking as I was drawing about like, where would this creature live? And in Majora's Mask, they have the swamp area. And I thought, well, that would be perfect. You know, swamps and gators go hand in hand. And then even in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there's a couple of swampy areas in those games too, you know. So I got to thinking about like, so what if like the Takai over the years evolved to be more gator-like in a swamp-like setting, you know, and this is perhaps what they turned out to look like. I also had a hard time coming up with the face. I didn't want his face to extend out at all, but in doing so, I was afraid of him looking too much like a turtle. I wanted him to be a little more smug looking though, like maybe, you know, give him that like tribal kind of vibe. Like he's very proud, he's a little arrogant, he's strong and he knows it, you know. So maybe this particular character that I drew has a bit of an attitude. And like, so yeah, that was kind of my mindset when I was coming up with how I wanted his face to look. I knew I didn't want to draw him from the front because I wanted to showcase the back of him. So I had his head like turning to look over his shoulder. And then I grabbed like the greens from the Takai reference and used just different shades of greens. I had like my alcohol marker brush out and I just roughed it in, and then I just built up those layers with lots of different shades of green as I went, and tried to throw in some highlights there. I did give him claws on his hands and feet. I wanted his legs to have those like thick thighs, but maybe they extend kind of like the way a dog's legs would, you know. And of course, again, I'm not like privy to autonomy and how like the verbiage of it, but obviously visually you can see it there, so there's that. But yeah, overall this was a fun exercise in character building. And then I had to come up with a name, so I called him Krokora, which is just crocodile and Zora mixed together. Super original, right? But it fits. I mean, if you look at the way a lot of the character races are named, I mean, you got they do kind of meld together. I mean, you got Zora and Goron and Gerudo and Kokiri, like so yeah, some of them are a little out there. There were so many races I found when I was looking them up. Like, there's an entire owl race called like Wandarara or something like that. Watarara. They are showcased in the Ocarina of Time mangas, and Raru's in it and everything. Like, it's really cool. Like, I think like Raru was like an owl at some point before he reincarnated as a more human or Hylian character. And of course in like Ocarina of Time it is speculated that Gabora and Raru are linked, you know. So like it's like the lore, the Zelda lore, it's so deep, and there's so many like theories, and there's also like proven theories that the developers have come out and said like, yeah, that's it, you know. But it's too much for me to personally remember it all. But regardless, yeah, I hope you guys like the drawing. If you could create your own race for the Zelda series, what would you want it to be? Like, what would it be? A creature? Would it be another human race? Man, there's just so much. Like even in Twilight Princess, there's like a race of like Yetis, you know what I mean? Like it's so neat. It's so neat. I even dabbled with the thought of what if like the imps and stuff, the moblins, what if they became a little more humanoid as well? Like, what would that look like, you know? What if they became a little more sophisticated? So now they're no longer monsters, but they're actual, a sophisticated race that you could have quests with and talk to and trade with and buy from, you know? What would their outfits look like? I was thinking about that too. I didn't put clothes on him. In Ocarina of Time, like, I think the only one that wears clothes is King Zora, because he's got like a cape and a crown and stuff. Is he wearing a crown? He is. He's got a crown on his head. But then in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they're very elegant and royal looking. Even in Twilight Princess, you know, they're very elegant, royal. They wear like light, intricate armor. And like, so I was thinking about like these swamp guys, like what would they wear, you know? Would it be like loose fitted clothes, or would they have armor for their warriors? Would it be like leather? What would it be, you know? But they live in a swamp, so there's a lot of water, you know, so it wouldn't have like it couldn't rust. It had to be something that couldn't rust, you know. But the Zoras live in water and they wear metals, you know, and they obviously don't rust. But, you know, I was just kind of thinking about like stuff like that, you know. And I was thinking about like what the Lizalfos, like they wear clothes in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like they're wearing armor, you know, and they're water dwelling, you know. You can usually find them close to some type of water source, you know. So I don't know, I was just thinking about that stuff. I didn't draw any of it obviously, but still it's fun to think about like just how things could look. But in any case, I guess that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you like the drawing too. I love it. I love how it turned out. And yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. See ya.